my thoughts of this is it's nothing wrong with the franchise tag, first and foremost, right? I got to explain this to the people that don't understand my rationale with it. I don't mind the Cowboys using and utilizing the franchise tag. I just don't want players to play on that franchise tag. If you got to tag somebody to still negotiate, to continue to negotiate, to continue to figure out ways that you can improve and help this team so that they won't be disgruntled. We say, hey, we put this tag on you. We're just going to put a placeholder basically, and we're going to come back to you with a deal. But we doing this so that when it's time for the market to open, that you will not be on someone else's team, right? So that someone will not run up the bag on you, run up the pricing on you, because that's just for what it is, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So you got to understand that when I pull this up now, money can always be spread out and finagled and here and there and all of those other things. But when I pull this up, let me see if I can make it a little bit larger. It's about as large as I can make it, ladies and gentlemen. But when you pull this up, there are teams like the Titans, the Raiders, the Chargers got a lot of money. Damn, Seahawks, boy. Whew. They in the Super Bowl with $74 million. God, dog, boy. Jets, they got a lot of money. Commanders, they got a lot of money. Bengals, $54 million. The Rams, woo! They were just about to make it to the Super Bowl if the ball bounced a different way, right? $42 million, right? So you seeing competitive teams to a degree. The 49ers, $31 million. They paying their quarterback $250 million too, by the way. But what I'm saying is that what you don't want is for Pickens to enter the free market and the Titans can throw him any type of money. It won't hurt them, right? So that's why the franchise tag to me is serviceable, right? Because it voids off all of the bull sugar. It voids off somebody else running up the price tag on Pickens and saying, hey, the Cowboys can't pay you 35, 36. That's okay. We can throw you 39. It won't even hurt us. We can throw you 40. And due to this new expansion of the salary cap, there are teams that's very much so into their financial bag that knows how to do this weird gymnastic as it relates to money, right? So that's why the franchise tag is important. Now that I said that, the franchise tag is also counterproductive. Because if you look at, and I look at the franchise tag in this way too, by the way, I do look at it from this perspective that if you going to fool around and tell that said player, hey, I'm going to put you on the franchise tag, we're going to try to work out something. We couldn't come up with anything as it relates to a deal, but here's $28 to $29 million, for example, for George Pickens, which is cool. Don't spoil me with a good time with all of that money. Come on, G.O.D. Bless me with $28 to $29 million. And y'all probably say, what happened to Law, man? Boy, Law's gone. Y'all talking about him using AI. Boy, oh, boy, we haven't seen Law in a couple of years now. But I'll be still doing podcasting content, by the way. It'd just be different, right? But $28 to $29 million, it would change my life, right? But somebody of the kind of caliber of player like a George Pickens who's thinking forwardly, right, who's only at the tender age of 23 to 24, he got to come back to the table with more and more money and more resources, because even though $28 to $29 million life-changing to us, that's probably damn near dog food money to these upper epsilon of players in the National Football League in their wide receiver room. Now, and that's for one season. The NFL ultimately stands for not for long. And if George Pickens fool around and say, you know what, I'm going to bet on myself, I'm going to go play for 1 year for $28 million, and then all of a sudden something snap up on him, or if he don't have the same productivity that he had this previous season, don't y'all know that these owners, billionaires, right, who make $28 million a minute probably, or make $28 million a month, they would look at this and say, you know what? We would like to sign you to a long-term contract, GP. But the way you look this season, we can't afford for you to do that. So therefore, we'll offer you 15, or we'll offer you 20, or we'll lowball you and say, hey, we'll put you on the franchise tag again, right? Prove it again. So that's why some of these players, they understand NFL is not for long. The average lifespan of all players is 3.5 seasons. You don't get fully vested until you're 5 years into the league, and then you don't get the overall investments or vested, I believe, is 8.5. A lot of them players don't last that long. Now, granted, we can look at it from the common folks area and say, hey, man, that's bullsugar. They should be able to allocate some of that money and be able to live a happy life. All I can say is, ladies and gentlemen, is if you start to do that, other teams would see it, other people would see it as how you're rocking and rolling, and that is not the way to go. So you got to pay these guys. That's the price of doing business. And right now, there's somewhere a basketball player sitting on the bench is making $28 to $29 million. And he said, I'm the sixth man and I make more than these guys. Or, what they fighting over. And, that's just how the NFL works. You don't get paid as much as these basketball players. And that's a whole nother conversation. So I'm with the belief. That's why most of these guys don't want to play on the franchise tag. They understand. They ultimately understand that it's a one-year, one-off, and they don't want to paint themselves into a corner. Yeah, so that's why they refuse to do that. All right, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Jones in the chat says he's building the Super Bowl team. New Dallas. We haven't heard from good old Jerry Wayne. Right now, we would have seen you pull up on the bus in the Senior Bowl with the belly out, with the salt on the McGriddle, with the doggone table salt, not the pink salt on the McGriddle. That's the healthier salt, or the Celtic salt, black salt. Believe it or not, I ain't trying to make fun at the melanated black salt. But black salt is better for you. I'm just saying. But don't shake me with the butter knife. And Facebook, allegedly. All of this is alleged. But Jerry, we haven't heard from you, man. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. Now, we are to hire, soon to hire Derek Ansley. And I appreciate y'all for y'all support. And that's just what I'm going over right now for those who asked, and Seabass is asking, who did we hire? All right, so there are more NFL owners in Epstein files. Oh, wow. Celtic salt is the truth. This is from Travis. Appreciate you. Yes, and NFL commish, who is hired by the owner. So, yeah, is Jerry in the Epstein file? I don't know, man. Jerry is untouchable, man. Whew, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Maybe that's why Jerry quiet. He had to give up some of that skull and bones and all of that Bohemian Grove and reptilian secrets to, hey, erase me from the Epstein file. I'm just playing with y'all. Jerry got his own file. You think Epstein got a file? The Jerry file is probably longer than Shaq's feet and Wemby's back and Jay Leno's and Natalie Lunn's face all combined. So Jerry chilling, man. He got his own files. He said, while y'all focusing in on the Epsteins and Madoff a couple of years ago, hey, I'm good, man. Shoot. Jerry would be the guy that's on Disney, the King, the Conqueror, He Who Remains. Jerry gonna outlive us all, man. Allegedly, boy. Y'all got to understand, Jerry gonna outlive us all. If a nuclear bomb hits right now, hey, right now in the state of Texas, if a nuclear bomb hit, all of us with Paris Jerry would still, him and Scott Miller would still be there. Oh my gosh, boy, I believe it.